Welcome back to part 7 of our Super 73 72 volt build. And if you hear that in the background, that's thunder and lightning in Southern California. I've been trying to get these bead locks to go on these tires. I'm having such a hard time getting these motorcycle tires mounted on bicycle rims. We need the motorcycle tire because of the speed. It's going to be a lot safer, but it's just not able to center and bead lock onto this bicycle wheel. I've been growing this little small channel. We went from 69 to 140 subscribers, and I think we're doubling again. So I've been getting a lot of feedback and support from the community, and that's really been keeping me going. And one of the comments and suggestions was I put the tires out in the sun for a few hours. So I'm not a morning person, so what I planned on doing was putting my tire in the hot spot of my yard. And I was gonna wake up to a nice hot tire, but instead I'm waking up to this. My tire's soaking wet. It's not gonna work right now, so we're gonna have to wait a little bit longer and let this crazy weather pass. Thanks for tuning in and subscribing. Love all of you, and we'll get this bike on the road as soon as possible. I should have known that the terrible storm was gonna foreshadow the events that are going to take place in this video. The next one that you're going to see took place after my tires were installed, but it's too good to wait. Here goes nothing.
Yep, that's me. You're probably wondering how I ended up in this situation.
As you can see, my throttle got stuck. It won't turn off, and my back tire is spinning very fast. I don't have my back brakes installed yet, so I wasn't even able to stop the tire. It just kept spinning and spinning. But eventually I figured out that the throttle was stuck, backed it off a little bit, and was able to get the bike back under control.
So we've survived the rainstorms, the sun is back, and our Shinkos are in. We're getting rid of the 595 Shinko. It's a very heavy tire and it doesn't sit correctly on the bead. We just got the 110 70 16 Shinkos in. These are the 567. I already can feel when I lift it up compared to the other tire. These two tires basically weigh the same as this tire. And I can't really show, if I push on this tire, it doesn't really go down. If I push on a Shinko, it goes down. You can see it's collapsing. This one, not so much. So it's definitely a better tire for this application. It's going to be much lighter. It's the right side, and hopefully these damn beads lock and we can move on to the next step. I wanted to measure out these tires to see if there was any inside diameter difference of the hole here. If we take a look at the Shinko 567, we're running about 15.5 on the inside diameter. If I measure the inside diameter of the Shinko 595, it's looking closer to 15, between 15 and 3/4, almost 16 inches. So I'm very hopeful that the Shinko SR 567 is going to mount to our bicycle tire wheels just fine. Remove these, just use these little tire irons, pop it down a few inches, go every couple inches, you'll get it out. And these are the bigger tires too. It sucks, but you'll get it. Okay, the front tire is on. We've got the tire on. We just got to air it up. All right, we've got the front Shinko on. It seems to be balanced pretty well. It's not perfectly centered on here. I mean, it didn't bead lock, but it's definitely on the bike properly. So the Shinko 567 in the link below, this definitely is going to be the tire to get. It looks very, very balanced. Very happy with the results. Now I'm going to put on the back tire. We are on to putting on the rear wheel now. For any of you that don't have a bike stand, this is a paid promotion by Propane. Everybody's got a propane tank. Most people do, unless you're a charcoal person. But you can always just throw your bike on a propane tank. Works as an awesome little bike stand for me. I'm gonna take this rear tire off and get this Shinko on. So the back tire is off now and back wheel is off. I went with a longer motor cable. I ordered a 1.5 meter motor cable. This cable is gonna allow me to change my tire without having to take off my side panel. In case I ever get a flat, I'm just gonna have a little bit of extra slack here and I'll be able to get this tire off. So that's why I ordered the extra cable length there. Plus originally I planned on putting my controller up underneath my seat, but it's a little bit too big for that. Once again, I'm using the Tuff tube. This is a thicker motorcycle tube. I have it linked below in the description. Everything that I'm pretty much using on the bike is below in the description. With the valve stand poking through, and you just work on the wheel after that. The 567 is a lot more easy to mount onto the stock Super 73 wheel than the other motorcycle tires, so it's definitely something that you can do. I almost didn't even have to use any of my prying tools on the front tire at all, so don't even worry about mounting these. And they seem to center pretty well just on their own. You could work it a little bit more if you want to get it perfect. Back Shinko is on. Just gotta mount it up to the frame here. When putting on the back wheel, you always want to slide the holes all the way back to the furthest rear position, so that way it's centered on both sides before you lock it down. And one thing that I haven't been showing but I always do is make sure that you put blue thread lock on everything that we're putting on here. Almost everything on the bike absolutely has to have blue thread lock. I'll put a link to this in the description below. These are cheap, but it will save you from losing nuts. So I finally got my tires on here. I'm ready to take this thing on a test drive. See how she does. Let's go into mode 3. Clunky. Anytime I give this thing any sort of acceleration, it just won't do it. The motor starts clunking. So having big problems out here. The bike is not functioning properly. Give it acceleration, it starts clunking like crazy. I don't know what the hell's wrong with it. I turned off the flux. Still having issues. I don't know what to do about this bike. I think I might have to get a new motor. It really sucks because I paid to have that motor laced on the wheel. So that was kind of a waste of money if I have to just take it off and send it back and ultimately replace it no matter what. I did a hall sensor test. I could try switching it to the other hall sensor bank, but the other one doesn't work. And I'm sure this one's gonna fail completely pretty soon. Feels like the whole motor's gonna lock up completely. Lots of problems with this bike here. Tires still aren't perfect, but they're smooth enough. But the biggest problem is that the motor is clunking. It's really hard to catch on video. There it is. Speed isn't showing correctly on the display. This thing's all messed up. I don't know what to do. I'm gonna have to end up getting a new motor, and I'm gonna have to relace this thing. It's probably gonna take me months of time. Probably won't have my bike all summer, so I'm really disappointed. Don't know really what to do about that. It's not pulling any airs. There's no check engine light. There's a green light on the controller. Everything's installed properly, but it's definitely not working. Okay, it's time for our back brakes to finally go on. The first thing that you do is you take the line and you run it through here. That way you can have the back brake on the front left. So slide on the handle, just tighten this down. I'm gonna run the whole cable to where I want it, and then I'll cut and trim it. There it is. The adapter that you need is a 180 to 203 Magura type of adapter. I have the links in the description below. We're gonna run you run the wire the same way that it comes on the stock one, just back up. Haven't got it all lined up yet, but there's tabs underneath the frame. You just hook the wire up, run it all the way up, and then we'll bleed it and take out the excess on both sides right now. Tires sure don't have the grip that the Grizzlies did. Tires still aren't balanced correctly. The bike's been giving me a lot of problems. I was gonna show how to do the bleeding of the brakes, but there's enough videos online where they have better videos showing you how to do the brakes. Just check out a Magura brake bleeding video. I still haven't fixed my brake lines yet. I'm just gonna use the last little bit of sun we have to give this thing a test, because I keep getting hall sensor errors, getting a bunch of errors on this bike constantly, so I'm not sure what to think about it yet. I got hall sensor error twice before I used the bike just now. I just turned off the bike and turned it back on, and then it said hall sensor error again. Turned off the bike, turned it back on, and then the stupid thing works perfect. So I really don't know if there's a problem or if it's some little thing that's needs to be fixed that I just don't know. But I'm gonna get out here and get on the bike trail for a little bit of sunlight, just to enjoy myself. I'm not used to using my back brake anymore, since I've been rolling with just my front brake for so long. Definitely have to be a little bit more careful with the Shinko 567 on dirt. It was a little bit squirrely, but the tires feel good. I still haven't got them to center. They're on the wheels. They're centered pretty good, but they're not perfect. Someone was saying to take out the valve stem, put on the bead paste, and then pump them up to 90 or 100 psi, and then they'll pop into place. I don't know about that. I've got these tires pumped up to 60 before with the tube in them, so I guess 100 isn't that much more. Bike seems to be operating fine right now. Oh, there it is. Seems like bumpy roads are really making that problem of my clunking worse. It's doing it right there. Ah, man. Right there. Bike wouldn't make it up that hill. It's still clunking right now. I don't know what to do. This sucks. And then it'll run normal. Sure feels a lot better with these back brakes on. Speed isn't wrong. That's it. Yeah, I switched the hall sensor. I switched the hall sensor bank. Feels a little better.
Eventually I'm gonna get to that point, but I mean, I just bought it. I was gonna buy this one, but
Yeah,
I was like, $1,000 more just for the rear suspension.
the suspension, yeah. And I think the brakes are a little bit better. I think you're running no, those
still
Tektro.
hydraulic,
That's
yeah.
good. It's still hydraulic. Same brakes. Yeah, no, it's a little bit more, but that suspension saves you. It's a little rough without it, but oh, I sell the splitters if you ever need a splitter to split these two batteries up. Yeah, but it's for 2 stock batteries, or I have an attachment you can put on there. You can run any aftermarket battery.
Oh, okay.
But the thing is, with these bikes, you have to run 1 stock battery, and then you can run an aftermarket battery.
Right.
But
right.
the
the
controller
batteries, the ones that they sell.
yeah, it has to run one controlled,
Yeah.
one of the same batteries on there.
Yeah, like I said, it's my first day taking it out. I just got it yesterday.
That's a big problem right here. We're going 26 miles an hour. This place says we're going 5 because it's broken. Now it says we're going 21. It almost feels like a broken regen. Okay, now we got a full hall sensor. No. Then all we gotta do is turn it back off. Turn it back on. Nope. Turn it back off. Turn it back on. Need to adjust those back brakes, but this thing is very unreliable. gets worse. I didn't get any power out of that. This is the joy you could experience if you do this upgrade. NBpower. This shout out goes to NBpower for getting my exercise in.